Okay, so I finished installing my new Sovereign safe. This is the Henry VIII model. What I did is I put it up on a concrete block base. It's about 12 inches high in the width of the safe. I finished it up just in the front with some pine trim, just natural pine, no stain or anything. I framed this in kind of like a closet. There's a shelf up on top. I can put some pistol boxes or duffel bags or whatever I want to throw up there. On the side, I just used a sheet of plywood just to kind of box it in. Hindsight being 20/20, of course. If I could do it again, I would have made that base a little bit wider, and I probably would have put some shelves over here just to store some stuff. But you know, this is the way I did it, so that's the way it's going to stay. I'm not going to tear it apart now. So the electrical cord for the safe, I was able to kind of bring up right here and run right through my 2 sheets of pegboard over to a surge strip that I already had installed on the wall, so that was pretty convenient. The safe came, wired already, has a 3-outlet plug in the bottom. The safe was delivered with internal lighting and a dry rod, so that was kind of nice. It has external hinges, so it will open 180 degrees if there's room. The trim that I put on here is actually in front of the hinge, so it stops the hinge from its full range of motion. So it doesn't quite go the full 180 degrees. But as you can see from looking here in the front, it's probably 130 to 140. It's probably right there in the middle. So I'm not going to break out a protractor and measure it or anything, but you'll just have to take my word for it. It's definitely more than you would get on an internal hinge with the 90 degrees. Plenty of room for me to waddle my fat ass in here and grab whatever I need. I put a short shelf up top. I just have some papers and stuff up there. The second full shelf, I have some extra barrels and some bolts, magazines, stuff like that. On the left side is long guns. They have slots for 10 long guns in here. I have 8, and I'm pretty much out of room. Anyone with a safe knows that they rate them for X amount of guns, and they usually do not fit X amount of guns. Especially if you have some wide guns, maybe some side-by-sides or something with a scope on it. Just takes up a little bit more room. Over on this side, I just have some pistol racks, a couple ammo boxes, and down on the bottom is the dry rod. Like I said, this came with internal lighting already installed. Came with a dry rod. You just have to install it. It also came with a mirrored back wall. Unfortunately, during shipping, the back wall on my safe was damaged, so I removed it. I ordered a mirror polished stainless steel backing off of eBay. I just ordered it to the size of the back wall and mounted it, and I think it gives it a nice finished look. Makes it a lot easier to find stuff. It's a whole lot brighter in there with that instead of just having a fabric or a carpet back wall. One of the kind of problems I have with this safe is the fit and finish. As you can see, that one's pretty bad. So it looks like what they did is they used a template, cut the fabric, and then just glued it to these shelves instead of like wrapping it around and mounting it under the bottom or using some sort of trim piece to kind of cover these. So it's real noticeable over on this side. You can see all those little seams. I have this plate over it as a shelf, so you don't really see it. So it's an aesthetic thing. It's not something wrong with the function of the safe or anything like that. But it's an aesthetic thing that a lot of the higher end safes have a lot nicer finish on the inside. I do have a little weather station thing right here, so that just monitors the temperature and the humidity inside the safe. Most people would mount that like outside, and then you could sit inside and see what the weather's like outside. But I threw one inside the safe so I can kind of see how the humidity is going inside of here. So that's basically the extent of the safe. Like I said, it's a nice safe. It has a very good fire rating. It's over here on the door, 105 minutes, which is an hour and 45 minutes. So I mean that's a good fire rating. Other comparable safes, as far as the size of this safe and the fire rating that I was looking at were probably $1,000 to $1,500 more expensive than this safe. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what you want your safe to do. As I said before, this safe is in my garage. It's here to protect my safe, Duh. It's here to keep my guns safe from either people who I don't want to have access to them or from fire or something like that. And I think it's going to do a great job of that. If you're putting a safe in a, like a man cave or an office and you use it almost like a piece of art, this Sovereign safe I don't think fits that bill. But, like I said, if you're putting it in a garage or in a utility room, a basement, something like that, and all you want it to do is protect your stuff from theft and fire, I think it's going to do a darn good job of that. And it's, like I said, it's a little bit less expensive than some of your fancier safes. One thing I do like about it, it comes with a handle right here to open and close the door. It's right on the edge. Most safes, you open them up by grabbing the turn handle, So you're actually using a little bit more force because you don't have as much leverage because you're in the middle of the door. And I don't know how much, if that could damage the mechanism inside, all that wear and tear of pulling and yanking on this thing all the time. I don't know if that would cause a problem or not. I'm not an engineer. I don't really know how those things work on the inside. But it is kind of nice to have a handle over here to just grab a hold of. It makes it a little bit easier to open the safe. So overall, it's a good safe. It's a nice safe. Like I said, as far as fit and finish go, it's not quite on par as with some of the other higher end safes that I have seen. But I think it's going to do a good job of protecting them, like I said, from theft and fire, which is really what I'm interested in.